Hey, how's it going, everyone? Everyone out there tuning in, thank you so very much. Let me get the banner up. Welcome in, everyone. Nice to see you guys, and welcome into my panelists. I guess we could say today. My lovely crew joining me for today's stream. How are you guys? We'll go around in the circle. Adrian, how are you today, buddy?
I'm fine, mate. Fit as a butcher's dog. Right, fine.
I love that. I'm gonna use that expression a lot now. Fit as a butcher's dog. Good stuff. And then we've got Ian. Ian, for one, where are you? Are you in Spain? Are you in
No,
the
I'm
UK?
actually in London. I'm in London seeing my mum. I was at Roma on Thursday night. You maybe want to talk about that, and if you do, I was there.
Perfect.
And going to Fulham,
best insight we can get. Yeah.
Fulham tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Always enjoy going to Tottenham. Always enjoy it. Coming up 60 years, and Adrian's been going even longer than me. So, So I'm in London this weekend.
Lovely stuff. Well, I'm glad you're safe. Be safe with you, at the match tomorrow. And Adrian, if you're going, be safe. And then we've got AJ down in the corner hiding. What's up, AJ? How are you, buddy?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Glad to be back. It's been a while, hasn't it?
It really
AJ,
has.
is the phone on full charge?
Yes, mate. I'm absolutely full charge, ready to go.
Oh, you gotta love it. Well, guys, there's a lot to talk about in Tottenham land. I feel like, depending on who you talk to, the sky is falling and everything is trash, or it's not so bad and things are looking pretty good. And I'm interested to see kind of what side of the fence that you guys land on that. We're going to be talking about recent performances up until today, the Fulham match tomorrow, and I also want to get some time from all of you guys about the Ange comments, the dastardly comments that were made that have upset the internet. I guess with recent performances, though, they don't get much more recent than our draw against Roma. And Ian, you said you were there. What? I mean, it's you're always going to get complaints. You're always going to have upset people whenever you concede a goal that late. I mean, it's just impossible not to be upset. But was the match? Did we deserve a win? I don't know. What did you think? What were your views on the match?
I've got so many conflicting opinions on it, so I'll try and be quick. I thought we'd play a much weaker side. We played a very strong side. We played a very strong side that I think Ange went with a view to winning that game and trying to get enough points to finish in the top 8 as soon as possible. That to some extent backfired. It was a thoroughly entertaining game. You really couldn't take your eyes off it, and I had no idea which way it was going to go. At 2-1 for a long period during the second half, you're thinking next goal, the team that gets the next goal will probably win the game. Roma got it so late and then decided to shut up shop. In fairness, we could have scored in injury or stoppage time. I hate calling it injury time. It's not injury time. Stoppage time. Evening, Graham. It was made a better game because of the level of errors. I'll be honest. Technically, it was only okay, and considering we had a lot of good players on show, as did they, but a lot of the chances came about through careless loss of possession, players being tackled in possession and what have you. So that made for an exciting game, but a frustrating game because good players were making basic errors. With Ange's comments and losing the late goal, losing a goal to a set piece, one thing that got overlooked, because I never read anything about it, was the brilliance of our second goal. Sol getting the ball, a fabulous early pass to Kulusevski, who broke on the left behind the defence. First time ball into Brennan Johnson with his better foot, to Johnson, who made a glorious run across the centre half onto his weaker foot and put the ball back where it came into the corner there. It was a superb goal, absolutely superb goal. But there's still issues, and one of the main issues is we played Gray at left back, brilliant. I think he does a really good job. But when we play Son and we play Johnson, they don't get back anywhere near enough to cover the two fullbacks, and they were pinging long diagonal balls all night long and exposing us, particularly on their right, our left, exposing Gray 2-on-1, sometimes 3-on-1, and Sonny sauntering back because I don't think he's got the legs to get up and down the field. The way
it's kind of one or the other for him, yeah.
And this is where I'm a fan of Ange, but this is why there's people that are critical of it, because particularly where I was sitting talking about this before we went on air in 254, which is about 7 or 8 rows behind the trumpeter in the middle of the south stand. It's the most second level. It's the most perfect view, and you can really see the fullback positions at both ends from that seat, and you see the fullbacks being exposed time and again, and nothing being done to change it. I mean, I would have had Werner on for Son probably 20 minutes before he did it, because you could see Son didn't have the legs and Son is struggling, and it's really, really disappointing. And this is where Ange rightly gets criticism, in that you can see, particularly when you're at a game, it's a different perspective watching it on telly, but you can see that the team, the players are being exposed. And when you're asking a young 18-year-old boy to take 2 and 3 defenders on, attackers on his own without support, it's grossly unfair. And then people say, 18 years, he's not up to it. Look at him. And he's not getting the backing or the support. Gray's got a massive future, but the manager has to see this, or he will come unstuck, and I'll be really disappointed, because with the ball, I really enjoy watching us play.
Lovely analysis. I'll be honest. So it was on Thanksgiving Day for us in the America lands, North America, I guess. But anyway, it was Thanksgiving, and so I had it on while I was at my in-laws, and it was kind of in the background, and so I haven't seen everything as in depth as I would like. I when there were goals, I'd watch the replay. I'd look up as often as I could. But yeah, AJ, what were your thoughts about the match, man? I mean, were you happy at all with any parts of the performance? Was it just not good enough on the whole? Should we have put Roma away long before we ended up tying? What were your thoughts, buddy?
Roma are going through a hard time at the moment. Their form isn't good, but they're no mugs. They've got a good European pedigree. They're a good team, right? They're a decent team. The issue is it was a very bitty performance. When the team was announced, I was optimistic. I thought this is a really strong team. Take the game, get it done, get it finished, make the subs, move on to the weekend. And it was very bitty. Very, very bitty. It was a case of, we'll play well, then you can play well, and we'll have another go. And it looked like the team were dropping deeper and stepping off the ball much, much more as the game progressed in the second half, which is not what you want. We could have won that match. We could have tied it up. It could have been 3-1, 4-1. We had enough chances, but they also had chances, right? It was a well-contested match. It was much more even than it should have been. We could have put the game to bed, but so could they. Yeah, they had the talent on the pitch to do it. So let's not make out that it was all one-sided and we should be slaying all before us, because that's just not true, right? That isn't true. But we were exposed in the fullback position. Every time, I think it was Dybala picked the ball up, bang, out wide left, out wide right. And every time, whether it be Gray or Porro, your fullbacks were isolated. This problem doesn't happen if the manager goes, okay, even if it's just for 20 minutes, let's drop everyone back. Let's give them some protection so that your opposition know that that's not the route to go. Give the opposition something to think about. Make them be more creative. Make them try to open you up in a different way. But all that happened, I mean, it happened pretty much all night, but in the second half especially, it was constantly pick the ball out, drive the diagonal out, isolate the fullback, and as Ian said, 2, sometimes 3 people. And I don't care who you are. I don't care how seasoned you are. I don't care if you're up in the top echelons of defending godness. If you're defending against 3 players, you are not going to win. And this 18-year-old lad that's doing a job there, and he is doing a job. He's doing a very good job, to be fair. People will instantly slate him and give him a hard time, but he's playing that position to the best of his ability, as well as the system will allow. It's down to the manager, as Ian said, to look at the problems, see where we're being exposed. Yes, he does tweak. He has tweaked things and he has changed things over the course of his reign as our manager. But it's in moments like that, in games where you can see the issues, we can see them as fans, and you're thinking, make a change, do something, affect the game so that isn't their avenue. Make them think about another way to create a goal, to create a situation. But every single time that ball was on, and as Ian quite rightly said, it's when you're witnessing something like that time and time again, you can understand when people are questioning Ange and his tactical prowess.
Yeah. Well, can I ask you, was there like an obvious fix? Do you think so? Ian said, get Turbo Timo on earlier to kind of help, track back, help. Would that have been what you would have done? Would you have maybe put like another? We're so thin in defense right now.
I think Son is still a quality player. He still is, and he's going to have moments now. Whereas he's always been a bit of a moment player. He's always been in games he plays. If it isn't working for Son, it doesn't work for Son. Right? If he's having a bad game, he inevitably always has a bad game, and the reverse is true. If he's having a good game, everything he touches turns to gold. There doesn't seem to be any sort of middle ground with him. It's either very good or very bad.
I've noticed that as well. Yeah, I would agree.
His key attribute has been his pace and his stamina, but that is noticeably dwindling now, and it happens to everyone, and it's not a slant on him. He just physically isn't able to keep putting in these runs, and
he's aging just like every single one of us. Yeah.
Exactly. That's not just going forwards though. That's doing his defensive work as well. And if you're blowing, if you haven't got the energy, and your fullback's getting isolated, and Ange might have said, right, do your job, get back. If he hasn't got the energy to do so, then he's not following instructions. But then Ange has got to see that and say, well, let's get somebody else on. Let's get another player, even if it's someone that sits 10 yards in front of Gray, to offer him that protection and just offers that shadow for him, that block. But that didn't happen. So, yeah, changes definitely needed to be made sooner than they were. But I mean, it is what it is. We can't go back and change. All we can do is learn from that and hope to remedy that in future games.
Can I come in before you bring Adrian in, Colin?
Of course,
I'm staggered at some of his substitutions. I mean, I can understand he did eventually bring Werner on for Son, but he took Bentancur off, who was really critical to playing a holding role, and
it's not like he's saving him for the league because he can't play.
And he can't play on Sunday, so why worry about? But he brought Bergvall on, who was weak when we really needed that last 10, 15 minutes to be solid in the middle. So again, I'm not an Ange slagger, you know full well, but his substitutions were baffling. Sorry, AJ, I just wanted to raise that because you raised an important point that he needed to shore it up. If he'd have kept Sarr on, Bentancur, even brought Maddison on, and taken Johnson off, moved Kulusevski and played a sort of 3-4, a 4-4-1-1 or a 4-4-2 or a 4-5-1 to shore it up would have been a lot better.
It's hard to disagree with that. Real quick before I bring Adrian in on this to weigh in, Daniel Coys, big up Daniel. Ronnie's here as well. Big up Ronnie. Daniel says, I'm sorry, mate. This is where I got a problem with Ange. He's sacrificing us getting 3 points at home in Europa League game when you can see the problem too many times. Yeah. I mean, you're saying exactly what these boys are saying. And I think Adrian will probably echo the same sentiment. But Adrian, I wanted to ask you a slightly different question about the match. How is the defensive pairing? Obviously, that last second goal. I don't know who was marking whoever scored. I honestly don't know. But Adrian, how did you think our defense did? Our makeshift defense of Ben Davis and Dragisin? How are they?
You can read an insight into Ange's thinking, can't you? He definitely prefers Gray over Spence because he keeps playing him. Right, and he's playing him at left back and right back, and he's played him at centre back. So he really likes the kid. He really likes him. Defensively, I thought if we were going to pick a man of the match, you either give it a Forster or Davis. Both of them were very good. I thought they were good. Dragisin made the mistake, gave away the free kick for the goal. Right. So there's there. And as I've said repeatedly on other podcasts, if you want to come and attack Tottenham, and normally we know you will be back tomorrow, but you attack our right-hand side because the Johnson-Porro flank is our weakest flank, in my opinion. But what we weren't on point with our passing, were we? I mean, we underhit too many, we overhit too many. Decky gave the ball away 24 times during that game. Porro gave it away 23 times, and his pass completion rate was...
Are those actual stats?
Yeah, and 73% pass rate from Porro. And we know when Porro's on song, the team plays well. When Decky's on song, the team plays well. You're sort of heavily reliant on, even though Porro is questionable defensively. But I'm in agreement with the substitutions, I mean, like, we should praise Ange when he gets them right, though, because I thought it was crying out. I'm sitting there looking down and thinking we need to stiffen the midfield because they had more of the game than we should have allowed them to have. We should have stiffened the midfield. I mean, I wouldn't have minded Basuma and Maddison coming on earlier because they can hold the ball. They can hold the ball as well as pass it, and their passing wasn't on point. So bring some players on who can pass the ball. Right? And Sonny was virtually ineffective. Solanke was ineffective. Johnson's looking like a good finisher now, isn't he? He's looking good. Told me, I wasn't the biggest fan when he first come to this club.
I wasn't either. I'll be honest. I was on the
and like you look at it. Gray did well on the left. I mean, like, when has he let us down? He's not, has he? He's not let us down once. He's come in. All right, he might not look that sexy at the moment because he hasn't really found a proper role for himself in that team. But whatever job he's been given, he's not let us down, and he's shown that he's not out of his depth. Whereas Bergvall's still got to convince us. I'm convinced about Gray. Gray will be a start. But I mean, like, Bergvall, I like him, but got to see something from him yet, and we haven't seen nothing in the Premier League with him yet. So
we really haven't. I don't think he's ready. I think that was the case of maybe at least myself having too high of expectations. But back to the match. So after the statement win versus Manchester City, a lot of people will say, Dr. Tottenham's back. Win loss. We didn't lose. We drew.
Didn't lose the game. No.
So, but does that reset then our win loss? Are we going to win tomorrow? I guess does that reset it?
Definitely.
I was just going to ask. I was kind of poking fun at people, but I'm being kind of mean. But I mean, so you look back. We had the game against City. Great result, of course. Before that, we had the loss to Ipswich, the loss to Galatasaray. I mean, recent results, if you want to look at them like that, I mean, it hasn't been all roses. And, if we had gotten that win against Roma, I think we'd all be feeling a lot better. I think the general sentiment around the club would be better. I think there wouldn't be near as many arguments and fights and WhatsApp groups and stuff like that. Had we just gotten the win against Roma. Daniel says we were in a cruise position in Europa League, but these last two games have been a disaster. Yeah. I still think, as Chris Agambar, my favorite Agambar, says up here, that he it wasn't Chris, it was Ronnie. He said we'll still have enough to be in the top 8. I firmly believe that as well. But we've made it hard now. We've made it to where every match is kind of a must win.
I'm not going to lose no sleep over them last 3 games. I know Rangers away, they'll have a good crowd behind them, but Hoffenheim and Elfsberg, I mean, I'm expecting us to get 9 points from those 3 games.
Rangers are weird. Actually, there was one of those. You've seen, Colin, you may not have seen, I don't know. There's been a petition going asking for another general election. It's the most ridiculous petition ever.
I haven't seen it yet. No.
Yeah, well, anyway, so there's a mock one about Rangers being asked to sign a petition that they only play on Thursday nights and that they play the Europa League music before the game. Is because they've been to two finals in living memory. For whatever reason, they seem to find something in this competition that they can't find in the league. I mean, they are today. They don't play till tomorrow. But tonight they are 14 points behind Celtic in the league, and yet they're in the top 8 of the Europa League. Hi Ryan, God, your team let us down today. I'll maybe catch a bit of match of the day and see what happens there. What happened there? 3 penalties. But
yeah, that's wild stuff.
I'm concerned, but the match on the 12th of December at Ibrox is now massive. And they will be up for it. They will play a full squad and a full side. It's not their man for man. Their team isn't anywhere near as good as us, anywhere near as good as ours. But they do find something, and I am now concerned about that game. Daniel, we'll have enough away at Hoffenheim. What are you doing? Rangers away on a European. I'm a Rangers fan. As team Rangers don't do it. No. And I mean, I live in.
Yeah, Adrian was saying that the Rangers are good in the competition. Adrian, if anything, was bigging them up. So yeah.
I live in Scotland, so I know what they're like. And if you heard what I was saying, they seem to find something on a European night they're incapable of finding on a domestic night. And who would say they, after their win against Nice, that they won't come unstuck against Killie at home tomorrow? That's Kilmarnock, Colin. Sorry. Who knows? But against Tottenham, they will be well and truly up for it. Well and truly.
Absolutely. And he's asking, Daniel saying, what do we know about Hoffenheim? I'll be honest, not a ton. But I don't know.
Only the league position is all you know. Is about 13th in the German league, I think.
Yeah, nothing too special.
And Augsburg have been everyone's whipping boy in this competition. So Spurs should have more than Spurs. I was always for no particular religious reason or anything like that. I was always Rangers were always a team I looked to because Celtic were winning everything when I was a kid. I mean, they won
it's no fun. It's no fun to support the winning team. Yeah.
They won the European Cup in '67, and we always. I think there's a bit of a link with Spurs and Rangers, apart from the fact they've had a few players off us. We always used to play them in pre-season friendlies. Do you remember him?
We did.
We played Rangers a lot, and the Scots.
Didn't Jermaine Defoe go there?
Scots would come down, mash up London, you know what I mean? It's the typical Scottish style in those days. And no, they were good. There were some fantastic Scottish players back then. You know what I mean? Brilliant.
I mean, it's definitely not going to be an easy match at all. AJ, are you feeling comfy about us getting through to the next round of the Europa League?
I do think we'll get through. I think we've got more than enough talent. The only thing that I question, and it's been evident in displays or lack of that we've seen from the team this season, and that's mentality. Yeah. Ipswich, Crystal Palace, these are teams that we should have been beat. I mean, Crystal Palace they will give anyone a game. When they're up for it, they're very good. But we should be, if we're considering ourselves the top team, we should be winning that game. Ipswich, it shouldn't even really be a contest. 2-0, 3-1, we should be winning these games comfortably. But it's got to be, what is it? Is it mentality? Is it lack of application? Because we've seen it work. We've seen when we've played various teams that we're more than capable of beating anybody on our day. I mean, we went to City, four past them. We started their 5-game losing streak. We put the exclamation mark on their 5-game losing streak. We ended their 52-game run at home undefeated. So we've done that, but prior to that, we lost to Ipswich. So it's got to be a mentality thing, a complacency thing. So if I was Ange, the most important thing I'd be doing for the rest of these 3 Europa League games, is absolutely drumming it into the team. Whoever he picks, that from second one to the final whistle, it's absolute foot to the floor commitment. Yeah, we don't take anything for granted, because I think that is more than the tactics or the system or the personnel. It's the mentality, it's the complacency that I think does for us, because 1 week we're very good, 1 week we're very bad, 1 week, and it tends to be games that we would normally think, yeah, we've got this, we're going to win this game. It tends to be those sorts of games that we fluff on, whereas the games that we have to be ready and compete and get ourselves up for, and it's going to be a competition, those are the games we tend to do well in. So for me, it's a mentality problem that needs to be rectified as soon as possible.
Oh,
that's the only thing. That's the only thing that makes me worry about the upcoming fixtures, because on paper they're teams that we should be beating. But
AJ, have we not lost all three? How many Europa League games have we played now? 4. Have we not lost the previous 3?
No, we beat Ferencváros, didn't we, away 2-1?
No. I'm sorry. When we played on the Sunday after the Thursday, have we not lost every league game since?
I believe so. That is correct. Yeah.
We better not lose tomorrow, because Fulham, as AJ said, Fulham is a game you at home you win. If you're a decent side, you win that game.
For sure. I fully agree. I think the boys will do it tomorrow. I always think we're going to win, though. Daniel has a comment saying that it's kind of disrespectful of us writing off a game we have no research about. I think he's talking about Hoffenheim, perhaps.
Well, it's not that. I mean, I just think, looking at it and looking at their league, I'm just, taking a position at thinking, right, I'm confident we'll beat them. That's all. I'm not being disrespectful to them.
And we can beat. I feel like Spurs can beat anybody. I mean, honestly, it's football. Anything can happen. And I'm always going to back us to win. I know that's maybe sometimes naive, but it's just the kind of guy I am. So
Fulham, just a little stat for those that like omens. I mean, the last 14 times we've played Fulham at home, they won one game, 1-0 in March 2013. All the other games we won. They're one of those teams that we just seem to do it against. I mean, if you believe in omens, you might think that's a good sign. Other fans might not. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those. I mean, I think we'll win tomorrow. I think it'd be close though, but I think we'll nick it by the odd goal personally. But
yeah, no, I truly think we will. We'll jump into Fulham in just a second. But Daniel is saying that we never played Hoffenheim in history, and we never played Galatasaray or Roma, and we saw what happened there. There's always danger. I mean, there's always a chance we'll lose, but I just don't believe that we will. Personally, again, that's just me. I think that whenever it's kind of do or die, I think we're gonna do. But anyway, enough of all that. Definitely, everyone's got their own opinions on things. I love it. That's great. What would the world be without opinions? But I think we're gonna do Hoffenheim, and I think we're gonna. I'm not afraid. But guys, so that does bring us into, and again, Daniel, not trying to write off what you're saying at all. You make a great point, and I'm not trying to disrespect them. I mean, real quick before we jump into Fulham, AJ, what do you have to say about this? Anything? Any response to this? Maybe disrespect we're putting on Hoffenheim's name?
Why would I answer that with why do I have to be respectful to Hoffenheim? I wouldn't say what I said expecting to beat them is particularly disrespectful. Do we do that every week? Do we go, actually we can't say we're going to win because that's disrespectful? Every week you back your team to win. You want your team to win. Is it disrespectful to think that's going to happen? But why do we owe these teams that we don't play, or certainly that we don't play week in, week out? Why do we owe them any respect? You want your team to overcome, to conquer all, right? So it is what it is. I think we should be beating them. I think we will beat them. That's my personal opinion. If he thinks otherwise, that's totally his. Absolutely respectful of that. I respect his opinion. But, I mean, I don't think what I said, expecting us to win a match, that on paper I think we should. I don't think that's I don't think that's disrespectful.
I agree completely. And again, everyone's going to have different takes on things and see things in a different way. Audio Artisans in the house. So I just wanted to say hey to Audio. Pete's here. Pete Gaius is in the house. It's early in the morning for him for once. It's not the middle of the night. Dan saying, have we ever been convinced by any of the Europa League performances? I have not.
I thought we played Karabag with 10 men and scored 3 goals. I thought that was a good performance. I mean, and that's where I actually met Ian for that one. Yeah. So,
I was there. Yeah.
We were there.
See?
Yeah, I was there. Having said that, that was another game. They had a lot of chances that they missed. So beating them 3-0 with 10 men after Dragusin was sent off in the 6th or 7th minute, whatever it is, was a really, really good performance.
I just wanted to say hey to Polar Knights. Polar Knights is a name I don't see ever, maybe. So looks like you're watching off the Twitch stream. Awesome. Glad you're there, Polar Knights. Nice to have you, buddy. It says, always a fan. Win or lose, ups and downs. It is what it is. And I love that. 100%. 100%.
It is when you're Spurs.
Right, exactly. And Daniel's pointing out that they missed shed loads of chances. Yeah, exactly. 100%. I think everyone's in agreement, that we could always do better. But I think we've got the tools. I think we've got the arsenal. Ew, I didn't mean to say that. We've got the guns and ammo to get this one done. I think we're going to get it done. Again, maybe I'm being naive and maybe I'm not showing the other team enough respect. That's an absolute possibility. We'll find out, right? I'll either be very happy or very disappointed. But guys, we've got a match tomorrow, and that's where I want the focus to be. Fulham is who we're playing. Mm-hmm. I've got kind of an affinity for Fulham. I like him. Scott Parker is probably one of my favorite Tottenham players ever, and which is weird. I know he wasn't like spectacular or anything, but I just love the guy.
I love Scotty P.
Tucked his shirt in, Scott Parker. Have you noticed he's one of? There's like 10 players in the whole league, I feel like, tuck in their shirts, and he was one of them. But yeah, and his 360s, his little pirouettes, man, he was a cool dude, Scotty Parker. But anyway, and he managed them for a bit. We all know how that went, not well. What changes to the lineup from last match do we make here, guys? I mean, do we go in with? You kind of have to go full strength, right? I mean, because full strength for us isn't even. We've got so many injuries. I feel like the team kind of sets itself up. Would you all agree with that statement?
Yep.
Yeah, I think it'll be the same team that played against Man City, and I think Johnson will sit on the bench, and I think Decky will come back out on the right again. And you're going to have Dave. Romero isn't quite ready yet, so you're going to go Davis and Dragusin again. And it will be Udogie will come back in because he was rested. So at the back four, Forster's going to be in goal. He's not going to risk anything in the goalkeeping department. And
Ronnie said Vicario. I wish, Ronnie. I wish. Sad. Yeah.
So it will be. And this matters midfield 3 with Decky out on the right. That was how we played the first 10 games of last season when we won 8 games and drew 2. It was with that midfield 3 and with Decky on the right, and everyone moaned about Decky on the right. I mean, I just think Ange has tweaked it. It's a notable tweak. It worked so well at City. Do it again. I mean, Johnson may start. I mean, we know Bentancur can't play, so he's not in the equation.
Yeah, so Ronnie's midfield, I think makes sense. What do you guys think about that midfield 3? I think that would actually be perfect. Yeah, I don't see Fulham's a team. I don't think they're going to commit tons of numbers forward, so we are going to need, I think Solanke to hold up play. We're going to need Solanke to get other players involved. We're going to need our midfield to be able to retain possession and create. And I think that's probably the best midfield 3 that you could pick, unless you wanted to switch Kulu out. A lot of people are under the impression that Kulu and Madison can't play in the same midfield. Would you guys agree with that?
They can.
Totally.
Sorry.
AK, you go.
Oh, okay. I was going to say they certainly can play. They're not they're not the same type of player. They both offer something completely different. Yeah, they're both attack-minded, but they're both completely different players. But I just wanted to touch upon this whole Kulu's not effective when he's on the wing. I think he's very effective when he's on the wing. Right? He's proven that when he broke on the left and created a goal. He's proven that when he's been on the right and created goals this season, yeah? Yes, he is very, very good through the middle. But when people go, oh, he doesn't offer anything, they're being very, very, very narrow-minded and they're looking at one particular attribute, yeah? Does he score when he's out on the right? He might not score as many. Does he assist? Maybe not as many as when he's through the middle, but what he does do is he offers that protection that nobody else does. Nobody else in that Spurs team offers that protection on the right-hand side to the fullback. Nobody else is that outlet for you when you're penned in and you're trying to see the game out and you're trying to get up the pitch. He can hold off 2, 3, 4 people. He does it regularly.
He does it so well. It's insane.
Yeah, exactly. He never stops. His energy is matched only by Dominic Solanke. The energy levels he has, the strength he has, the grit, the determination. And this is out wide right. But when I've noticed that playing out wide right under Ange now, he's given almost like a free role in a roaming sort of where he does drift into the middle. And you notice he goes and he drifts and he plays in the middle and then he'll come back out. He knows where to be. So he offers the team a lot more in multiple positions than people give him credit for. They only want to look at, oh, but is he assisting? Oh, he's not. Get him out of the team. He's no good. I said he was no good. He offers nothing.
I think Kulu's our best player. I don't even think that's that controversial to say.
Without doubt, in my opinion, he is our best player. He offers so much in a variety of positions. If he was asked to play right back, he'd play it and he'd do a good job. You know, he works for the team. That's what I love. He puts that shirt on. He does the job the manager asks him that will benefit the team. And how can you, and when he does it, and he does it regularly to such a high standard, how can you complain about that? How can you try to find fault with that? Especially if you're fitting him and Maddison in the team and they're not cancelling each other out. If they're both in the team and they're both contributing, and we're winning, we're not conceding, or we're not conceding as many. It's you're contributing to the greater good, right? You're winning the matches. So why are we trying to pick holes in it and try to shoehorn everyone in a position we think they should be in that maybe might not work against certain opponents? Let's just let the manager do his job. Trust that he knows. I mean, going to City and smacking 4 past them isn't for everyone, you know. You could play like Arsenal and sit everyone behind the ball and hope that City don't score. But, you know, just let the manager do his job. Let him pick the personnel and trust that we're going to get the 3 points.
And it helps. The only person you left out who I'd add to Solanke and Decky is Sarr, who I think has been...
Oh, yeah, no, to be fair.
Best midfielder last season. And he's took his chances this season, Sarr, and this kid has probably got such a fantastic high ceiling.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I hope he sticks with us for a long time. Bergvall as well. You know, even though he's not shown a lot, I think that he could become a good player for us. But yeah, for Fulham tomorrow, I saw an interesting comment. I wanted to throw it up. It was Audio Artist saying that he has a feeling we're going to see Austin debut soon. Doesn't think Forster can play 3 games in a week. Audio, I kind of disagree. So. I was going to say, I think that we'll continue to play Forster. Hopefully, you know, hoping that his form improves and you know, that some game time, you know, makes him more solid.
Well, Vicario played every game last season. Put that.
Yeah.
So that puts it into context. Go on, Ian. Sorry.
Can I say I've seen Austin play. In particular, his left foot. He can barely stand on it, let alone kick with it. So if you think that Forster has problems with the game when we're kicking out from the back, playing out from the back, Austin is really dangerous in that position. So I would be seriously worried if he came into the side. Decent shot stopper, really good shot stopper.
Well, his hands are this big, which helps. You know, he's got the hands for it for sure.
just picking up what the boys have said. I mean, I agree. I'd be with the exception of obviously Forster for Vicario. I'd be surprised if there was any change to the side. But a couple of things. Firstly, there's talk that Van der Ven might be fit, and they've kept it under the radar. Whether they'd start with him or whether they'd maybe bring him on, I don't know. Davis has done absolutely nothing wrong at all. Davis has been really good since he came on. Since he came in. So, but if Van der Ven's fit, then certainly Ange's got a decision to make. But there's big games coming up. You know, there's Bournemouth, there's Chelsea, there's Manchester. Is there Man United in the league? Chelsea? There's Rangers. Then there's Rangers, and then there's a league game, and then there's Man United in the cup. There's one I've missed out. There's a league game I've missed out. But
so next we've got Fulham, then Bournemouth, then Chelsea, Rangers, Southampton is the one you left out, and then United.
Which one have I missed?
Man United in the Carabao Cup.
Yeah, Man United in the Carabao Cup.
Who are we playing on the 15th of December?
Southampton in the league.
Southampton, okay. Yeah,
it's Sunday, 7:00 kickoff away.
Right, okay. So there's a lot of big games coming up. So he's going to have to rotate in some shape or form. I'm still worried about Son, and I mean I agree. At the moment, he's very in and out, very hit and miss. I'd probably be playing him, but if it doesn't work, I just don't worry about. Oh, absolutely, and to his detriment as well, Peter. That's I think the problem, that he's too dogmatic and perhaps too set in his ways now. In the Premier League, they're good coaches and good players, intelligent players, as well as technically good players who will find you out. Even Roma, as I say, AJ says Dybala's pinging balls. I mean, I can see it. I'm sitting in 2-5-4 behind the goal, and you can see it's going left, it's going right. Constantly two fullbacks, two wingers or two attacking players isolating a fullback. You go, come on. Even I can see it, so you must be able to see it. You're the coach. I would certainly be starting with the midfield. And as I say, and I don't think he'll play Werner instead of Son. But if it's not happening for Son, or Son is not giving Udogie enough help, then I would be making that change. I think we've got to be braver sometimes.
Honestly, I would rather Son come off the bench. I'm not even kidding. I think Sonny would be more effective late on in a match.
Son's always been the same though. He's always been a streaky player, isn't he? He's always got goals in clutches. He's never like
exactly
every other game like Harry Kane. I mean, like,
and he doesn't always have a great game. He can score even if he's having a bad match, which is something
I mean, in the games he's played, he's got 4 games and 4 goals and 4 assists. That's not awful.
No,
you know,
but
the amount of games.
2 or 3 years ago, those shots he ballooned over the bar would have gone in the net, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
And he couldn't score that goal now. He scored against Burnley. There's no way in the world
or Chelsea
he could score that goal.
But he's not. He hasn't slowed that much. Now, if he runs out of puff during a game or his legs after an hour mark or something, that might be something to consider. I haven't really noticed it because when Sarr put him through for the 4th goal against West Ham, he was only about a yard inside their half.
Yeah.
He's run on like a train, right? That wasn't slow. Then he's like so the defenders are dummy, left, right, jinking. And then he blowed it in the net. I mean, and the other goal, the VDD one, when VDD broke against Everton, all right, Son was keeping up with him, right? He's behind him, but he was keeping up. This I think there's a bit of a myth about pace. Whether or not his stamina is questionable and later on in games, I could see that, but he's not slow.
I think that he's only got a number of those runs in him. I think that I don't know what the number is, but I think that, and I think he knows that, and I think he tries to pick his moments. It's a lot like there was an interview with Gareth Bale whenever he came back, and he said a lot of these things. So I'm kind of just picking from that and applying it to Sonny. But he was saying, you're not going to see me making as many of those runs as I used to make. He said, but I'll make some, but I just can't. I can't be constantly doing it. And that's why I think that like a second half Son would be dangerous, just because you'd be going up against some tired legs. tired minds. I think he could really be lethal in a second half kind of cameo type role. But it's never going to happen. But it would be interesting. I've left this comment up for a while. I just wanted to say hey to Harry. Harry's in the house.
Hi, Harry.
Yeah, don't see you around these parts all the time, Harry. Good to have you here, bud. Says on paper we should win, but I never know what with Spurs anymore. Fulham are also one of those sides that can just pull out a performance. Yeah, man. There's quite a few of those in the league. It's pretty neat. That's what makes the league so fun, in my opinion. But and then there was a comment a little ways back about some places where Daniel thought Fulham could hurt us. They've got pace on the wings to hurt us on a counter, he says, and that their midfield is also underrated. Are there any players from Fulham that have any of you guys, and you can just jump in, particularly worried? Are you scared of one player in particular or a couple players? I mean, who do you think we need to watch out for most from this Fulham side?
Can I go?
Of course you can go. That would be lovely. I would love it if you could. Yeah.
One of the players that I am most worried about is Robinson, their left back.
Mm.
He's very, very quick, and he's got bags and bags of energy. And if they can create a way in which he gets forwards, he's going to be coming down the Porro side, and we are weak down that side. We've been weak down that side with Porro and Romero, and Dragusin and Porro don't have that understanding yet. They don't have as good an understanding because they haven't played many games together. So I'm just worried that is an avenue that they could exploit, which is why I think it's important to have Decky on the right. Decky will track back, and trying to get past Decky is going to be difficult. If he isn't there, if Johnson's there, Johnson's going to be 10 yards, 15 yards further up the pitch in a starting position. He's not so good with his defensive work. Also, Jimenez at Wolves was brilliant. He was a player, he was a striker you could rely on regularly. Fulham, not so much, right? I think since the head injury, he's just not the same player, but he's still got the ability. But they've got Smith Rowe, Nelson, they've got Pereira Holding. He's tenacious. He's a difficult player. He's very, very difficult. And who's the other one they've got as well?
They've got Iwobi and Jimenez.
Yeah, Iwobi has been very decent for them. So they've got a cluster of players that whilst they haven't got anybody stand out, any real grab the game by the scruff of the neck and change the dynamic of the game. They haven't got any of those sorts of players. They've got good, reliable, decent players who, if they are up for it, could cause us issues.
Yeah. There are no bad sides in the Premier League. No. There are different levels of good. And even you look at Fulham, where are they in the league? I don't even know where they are.
About a point behind us, I think. Something like that.
They're 1 point behind us.
You look at their players, and I mean, I'm just pulled up there. Lino, okay. I mean, I'm not as wild on their defence as their attacking players, but Tete, Diop, Bassi, Calvin Bassi used to play for Rangers. If who was it was in the chat who said, was it Dan Coys who said, Daniel Coys who said he's Rangers. Bassi was rank. Robinson, quick. Berg, okay. Then Pereira, Traore, Smith Rowe, Jimenez. I mean, they've got good players going forward, but I would fancy us to win. Vinicius maybe on the bench. He's not a player that frightens me. I mean, you've always got that coming back to your old club and scoring a goal, but with the best will in the world, they've got decent forwards, but they've at the back. We should have enough to score 3 against them. We should have enough to score 3 against them. And
I have us down to win 3-0 tomorrow. So,
I mean, I predicted 3-1, and I'll stick with that.
Yeah,
I just went 2-1. I thought
it's a classic Spurs score.
Really for this, but I just think our quality in the creative departments. If you've got Decky and Maddison in that team, I don't see us not getting 3 points.
Boom, bam. And since we all gave ours, AJ, what's your score prediction for tomorrow, buddy?
2-1. 2-1 Spurs.
Like I said, it's that classic Spurs score. You gotta love a 2-1. Is it
I
gonna be a squeaky
couldn't give a
2-1?
crap. I genuinely couldn't give a crap what the scoreline is as long as we score more than them and finish with 3 points. That's all I care about.
Bang on.
Hell yeah,
Because then I
absolutely.
think after that we're away to, I think it's Bournemouth on Thursday, and then we got Chelsea at home on the Sunday. So, these games are going to come thick and fast. So we'll see.
Right.
We hope the squad holds together, because that's what Andrew was hinting at. Because everyone was like going, "Oh well, we need to get another goalkeeper," and but Ange says he has sat down with Johan Lange, the latest thing. They've discussed things this year, where they want to go, what direction, with what players they want to try and bring in, and whatever. But it's goalkeepers are not up for it. So I'm going with what I've got, basically. And we'll see if that changes according to the shape of the squad, like injuries and suspensions, by the time they get to January. So, like, the end of this month, hopefully we've got players coming back, not getting more players injured.
Who was it who briefly touched on it about the possibility of Mickey being back? Because I've seen reports that he could possibly be back. I definitely, if he is back and he is fit, I definitely would not be risking him. I wouldn't even I wouldn't even have him in the squad, because if he's just got back from an injury that he should have been out, he should be out for another few weeks yet. If he is back, why rush him when, as it was stated, Davies has come in, and I think Davies has been absolutely incredible.
Yeah,
I think he has been brilliant.
I said it. I said it.
I don't rate him particularly highly. I don't dislike the guy. I think he's been a good servant to the club. But I think personally, if we want to progress, we need to be looking at players better than Davies. But when you cannot fault a player that, when called upon, puts in good performances, right? If he's on the periphery of the team, he's the backup to the backup, right? He knows his game time is going to be limited, but he's been on that pitch and he has given absolutely everything, and he has been, in my opinion, probably our strongest defender since he's been in the team. So that's all you can ask for.
There has been talk of, because it's been hyped up because of his performances, of giving him a year's extension on his contract, right? But I'm with you on this one, AJ. I mean, we need to be looking for better and younger as well for this. I mean, I'd love him, Cappy. And we don't even know what's going to happen with Romero yet, because if he doesn't want to sign a new contract in the summer, sell him, get rid of him. He's only got 2 years.
Hit the road, Romero.
Then we could like, then, I mean, every man and his dog will be in for Jonathan Tah. He's in the same team as Cappy, isn't he? Because he's down to his final year of his contract, and he fancies a Premier League. So, and he's a German international experience, right-footed. Romero's going, go get him. That's all I'll say. Go get him. Get in Cappy as well. Take 2 of his centre backs.
Bring them both. Yeah, they'll understand. They'll have players.
Left back as well. You see, he's 24.
That's a player. That's a player that we've been linked with in the past. Yeah.
But we'll see, because these rumours are going. I mean, all these rumours about midfield.
Oh, they're about to. Everything's about to hit the
We've
fan.
got 7 midfielders. If we bring a midfielder in, and that's without Bergvall getting game time anyway, or Gray in the middle. I mean, unless it's someone out there exceptional, an opportunist, we ain't going to go to midfield. We need a left back and another number 9 before anything else. I'd love Eze, but I'm not sure. He's not really the priority for me. I'd loved him. I wanted him in a left back. But the left back to me is the most important position. That we need to fix first, and then Richie's made of glass, and then we need to be looking at number 9s.
I swear, Richie's made of Weetabix.
Or something, popsicle 6 all put together. Something. Yeah, absolutely. I don't mean to move us forward with awkwardly, but I'm trying to keep it to about an hour for my man Ian here. We want him in for all the comments. One thing I do have to say, I should have said it
now.
Do what?
I said I fall asleep after an hour.
Oh shoot, we got this.
But it's bad when I'm hosting. I start snoring on my own shows.
No, you'll be good, buddy. We'll end this quick. But before we do get to the last segment, which is going to be Angie's controversial comments, I wanted to say something that I should have said all the way at the beginning. But due to a disagreement between YouTube and ourselves, we are no longer YouTube partners. So if you would like to support the show, the new way to do it is to become a Patreon member, and that link will take you there. I don't think you need the C. You can probably take that out. Let me get a better link. But yeah, so become a Patreon member because there's no longer memberships on our channel. And there's also another thing you can do. It's called Buy Me a Coffee. It's the same kind of thing. You're just kind of helping out. Anything that we get in just goes to paying for StreamYard and keeping good content coming your way, guys. So if you want to do either of those things, the links are in. One of them's pinned and the other one's in the chat. But anyway, sorry, I had to kind of whore myself out a little bit there. It's important stuff. But guys, back to this though. Ange, his comments have really set the internet on fire, at least Twitter, and some of our WhatsApp groups got a little wild about this one. And I'll start with AJ. You know the comments I'm talking about.
I'm sure I don't know what you're talking about.
Really? No, for a second I thought you were serious. You played it off really well, but no. I don't think there was anything. I'll go first and say that I don't really think there was anything to those comments. I don't think he was saying that entertainment and being entertaining is more important than winning. I think he was saying, why can't you do both? But maybe I've completely misinterpreted it. But I just wanted to see what you guys thought about it. AJ, if you have any thoughts.
I think with Ange, I think certainly what he said, there was an element of sarcasm to it. He does tend to get stupid questions asked to him at moments where the answer's obvious. So I do think he bites back a little bit, and I do think he's guilty of saying too much. I think sometimes he could just not say anything and just kind of he adds fuel to the fire, I think, and he gives people a rod to beat him with. That being said, I didn't think there was anything particularly wrong with it. I think the timing wasn't great, but I don't for 1 second think he is saying it doesn't matter if we lose games. That's, winning's not what we're trying to do here. We just want to be entertaining. I think he's trying to instill his way of playing, the positive front foot attacking, to be entertaining, but to also win. Right? What kind of manager is going to have a job if they are not? If you're employed by a club, that means the manager before you has either terminated his own contract or has been sacked. The reason for that is because they have not achieved what they are meant to have achieved. So they haven't won as many games. For you to then have the job means that you're expected to win games and progress the team and to compete for trophies. If you're sitting there genuinely saying that winning and competing really isn't what you're concerned with, it's about being entertaining, you're not going to have a job for much longer, are you? So I don't.
And he wouldn't have had the career that he had. He wouldn't still be doing this.
Exactly. I don't think it's as black and white as people have. People have tend to jump on one side or the other, and I think it's somewhere in the middle. I think what he's trying to say is, and this is just my opinion, that he wants to win. That's what he wants to do. He wants to win and be competitive, but he wants to be entertaining whilst doing it. That's what I took from it, at least.
100%. That's what I thought as well. So Adrian, did you think anything different? I mean, are you in agreement with AJ and I that it was just kind of?
He's just got a philosophy. He's been in the game for sort of like 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to stick to it, and fair play to him. Don't backtrack. Stick to what you believe in, and go forward. It's brought him success wherever he's been. People saying it can't happen in the Premier League, a bit premature. We don't know how his tenure at Spurs is going to turn out. I actually think he's going to win something. But I wouldn't be changing. And everyone's picking at everything Ange does. Before, he wasn't doing nothing on the touchline. Yesterday, he was screaming at Brennan Johnson. He was screaming at Brennan Johnson going forward and stuff like that. If he's not being, and I don't see what being demonstrative on the touchline makes any difference to why the players play. Conte did, but
I never paid attention to what my coach was yelling at me during matches. I was zoned in. I was playing.
We're having conversations when these fans should be supporting the manager and players at the club while they're there, and we're having conversations where every angle we can pull at them, pull at the club, or bring them down or knock them. Now, when it's a justified critique on substitutions, if we play badly, that's fine, right? But I just think some of these critics out there need to take a reality check, really.
And then we come to you, Ian. Some of the quotes I'm trying to find, like what he said. Why can't it just be entertaining? Isn't that why we all come? Would you really prefer us to sketch out a couple 0-0 draws and win 1-0 and get through?
I want to give people a home truth here. Being entertaining and winning football matches are not mutually exclusive. But as Adrian says, his philosophy of football is to play a particular brand of football which is really entertaining, really exciting, and win trophies. He's done that throughout his career. He's done it in 3 countries. He's done it on 3 continents. And now he's going to do it in this country. It will take him a while. It may take him longer because it's a tougher league and his learning curve's going to have to be a bit steeper. But I am absolutely sure he's going to win something. My dad died in 2021. And we often used to reminisce when we went together. I moved to Scotland. He got too old to go to matches. And we used to reminisce when we went to watch Spurs, the golden days for us particularly the early 1980s, when Keith Birkinshaw was the manager. And of course, he said, well, of course you won. Yeah, you won. We won the FA Cup in 81. We won the FA Cup in 82. We won the Europa, the UEFA Cup as it was then in 1984. We won a couple of charity shields. We were beaten finalists in a League Cup. We almost could have got season tickets for Wembley. But, I'm sorry, we played glorious football under Birkinshaw. It was an absolute joy to watch. But he often used to say, you know what? We didn't win all the time. But when we came away and we got beat, we were really entertained. And it always was entertaining. Yeah, it was winning football in cups, but we never really came close to winning a league under Birkinshaw. But Birkinshaw became the coach, manager, they were called then, in 76. His first act was to get us relegated in 87. We kept him. He just about sneaked promotion in 3rd place with a fluky draw at Southampton, the last match of the season, in 78. We then scooped the world signing Diaz and Villa that summer. We had a wonderful midfield, Hoddle and Diaz and Villa and 1 or 2 others, but we didn't have much of a defence. But we got Miller, we got Roberts, we had Perryman. In 1979, a young boy called Chris Hooton came into the side as a 19-year-old and suddenly made a massive amount of difference. In the summer of 1980, we signed Crooks and Archibald, who just gelled together and worked. I mean, I know Steve Archibald said in a comment to me on Twitter, no, it wasn't just natural. Garth and I worked like buggery on the training ground to make that work. That's 5 years. And then we won the FA Cup in 1981. It took Keith Birkinshaw 5 years to build a side that was capable of challenging for cups. And after a year and a half, people are chucking this man under a bus, as they've done with every other manager, fitting on anything he does, every tactical substitution, every action on the bench, etc., and then wonder why the board reacts, sacks managers, and we go round and round and round in bloody circles. It's ridiculous. All for one comment. Yes, you can play winning football. Yes, you can play entertaining football. Ange does both. Give the man a fucking break, and let's try and build on where we are.
And I think we gotta not be trying to pick apart every single word of what people say. And I'm not trying to get on your case here at all, but
ridiculous.
And I want to add to that. I want to add to Ian's wise words here, because if you want success, consistency, and stability at the club, you want a stable club, you get the foundations right first. And this squad has still got holes in it. We've been exposed. We're even stretched now. We know we're exposed at left back. We know we need another number 9. We need the forwards to score and to finish their dinner and score more goals. The XG against Roma was mental. It's 4 point something. our XG. The chances when we should have missed, right? I don't know what theirs was. Theirs was lower. Theirs was 1.8 or something like that. It was lower. I'm sure someone will have that stat in the chat. But the man last year, right? Last year at this club, in them first 10 games, we then lose VDV, right, with a hamstring. We lose Maddison when he gets done by Matty Cash, right? We lost Bentancur with an ACL injury, right? Romero was suspended once. Masum was suspended 3 times. Players went out on international duty. We had other players that were injured as well, and we finished 5th, for Christ's sake. We finished 5th, and we had
without Harry Kane.
And we start with that Harry Kane, right? We finished 5th, right? Now there's been a big clear out for the good, in my opinion. I think we failed.
We've desperately needed that. Yeah,
we failed better in the transfer market in the recent transfer windows. We brought in some good people into the club that I hope are going to give us this foundation and stability that we all want, and then the consistency will come with that. When you can bring players in, that can help those around them. But we've got, in my opinion, I think there's 11 players under 24 in the squad. We haven't got enough oven-ready players in the squad, and we do need a number 9, and we need a front 6 that scores, not just Son, Solanke, and Johnson. We need 6 players that score goals.
That's what Ange's teams do. Yeah, there isn't just
enough midfielders to blend with. If you bring another midfielder in, you're going to have to get rid of a Basuma or someone like that, because Star's not going nowhere, right? So then one of them's going to have to go. In defence, we know. I mean, we don't even know yet what whether Porro's on a long contract, 2020. All this talk about Real Madrid, 90 million, you have it, right? But we don't even know who Will Ange's really settled on Porro on the right, or whether Spence might come in, or whether Gray might end up there again. So we got questions on the right-hand side of our team defensively with Johnson and Porro there. And then we got questions at left centre-back and questions at left-back, because we need more than you, Doggy, right? I hope we get Dorgu. I really do hope we get that kid, because he looks phenomenal, right? But there is this squad's got holes in it. I mean, me and Ian come from an era where we had patience.
Absolutely.
Things move slower back in your
reaction after every game, but they're not.
Patience is not something you'll find today.
There are complainers out there that have got different agendas. If you don't like Ansborn, don't like the football, fair enough. I ain't got an issue with that. But don't try and conflate everything with the club and throw Ange into the mix as well, right?
For sure. Yeah. No, absolutely. And I agree with everything that you said.
Can I just quickly want to say something? I think what you guys just said, both of you, and then obviously Colin, I think great. I think excellent. Loved listening to what you said. These people that beat Ange with a stick are, you're too gung-ho. Oh, suicidal football. Oh, you're not pragmatic enough. You need to shore up. We've had our 2 previous managers do that, be very pragmatic and very, very concentrating on our defence and playing that way, being defensively solid. What did those managers get us? Where did they get us? What did they achieve with us? How many trophies did these brilliant managers playing such a strong, pragmatic style of football, what did they get us? The sum total of absolutely fuck all. And yet, a manager that is managing us, and we are now scoring goals for fun. We are conceding no many more than most other teams, and that's not good enough. All of a sudden, being competitive and scoring goals and looking good doing it. Let's go back to whacking everyone behind the ball and lob the ball up to the one player that used to get us out of the shit, Harry Kane, that we don't have anymore. Let's go back to that.
I mean, people that are pining for the boring football we played under Conte.
Does everyone remember how miserable that was?
Yes.
That was awful.
This is the man. We're down. We needed to get past. Was it Milan or Internazionale? I can't remember. And he brings on Sanchez and takes off whoever it was, and that's what you want. Fuck Christ's sake! Some people need to wake up and smell the coffee. They really do.
No, it's like this as well. When we talk about suicide football, let's be clear about this, right? Because where's the suicide football? We've conceded 1 goal from a breakaway. We've conceded 3 set pieces. And this is where I will be critical of the players, not Ange. If you go and look and freeze frame them goals we've conceded, right? There's always been at least 6, 7, up to 8. I think once there was 9 players in a penalty area that didn't deal with each of those situations, right? So this has got nothing to do with the system that people think. Another thing, people, I don't get it when they say, "Oh, we're playing with two inverted fullbacks that plan as number 10s." Really? A number 10's a creative player. A number 10's an Ericsson. A number 10's a Madison. You know, a number 10's a Dele Alli playing tight to Kane. A number 10's a Bobby Firmino at Liverpool, right? We don't. We play with 8s. Their fullbacks come in as 8s, really, if the truth be known, because we've got all 8s and 10s at the club. We haven't got 6, right? So that's what we've got, right? And Porro will cut in more, right, than others. So he does invert. Last season, though, Doggy was going parrying up and down the left. No one was complaining. He wasn't inverting so much. He may have cut him once or twice, but he wasn't doing it. Porro does. I would agree that Porro inverts. He scored a banger against Man City, didn't he? Inverted when Solanke picked him out. He
sure
doesn't.
did.
He's got the superb technique to do that. I just wish he was better defensively, you know? So I don't get it. When you explain it clearly to people about the system, and this system as well, right? This season, there's always been, well, Ian's been to games. So we see more of the overview of the pattern of play on the pitch during quieter moments when you're not magnetically attracted to the ball, right? But we've always had 4 at the back or 3 at the back. They might be on the halfway line. Oh, yeah, it's high line and all that. Really? Well, what did Poch do? He did exactly the same thing, right? Poch did exactly the same thing. So there's certain things when they said, I just don't get it, but I'll make my comment. I won't criticise the people that make them comments. Everyone's entitled to their opinion.
Yeah.
But I'll generalise and explain, like, you know, I don't get it.
Well, so if we're saying, okay, again, you put the comment there, so I'm going to talk about it a bit. I think that, okay, saying, unfortunately, he gave similar comments before we lost to Brighton, so I doubt it was in sarcasm. Also, they asked him whether he would take a 0-0 and a 1-0. He said, I'd much rather we are exciting to watch. He then says, I'd much rather, says to me that his preference is to be entertaining rather than get the job done. But the problem there is that you said that says to me portion of that makes it to where it's not what he said. I mean, if you have to infer it, then, and he didn't actually say it, then I think we're getting into dangerous territory of trying to read between the lines and you know, I mean,
no,
maybe
it's
it is
because
sometimes you don't get the reward.
I mean, would you? At least he's more open, when he talks at press conference. All right, he might say too much, but even that's better than the cryptic press conferences we used to get off Conte and Jose and all that cryptic. You know, you think, what the hell are you talking about, right?
And then he says maybe it's edge of the seat stuff. He's quoting Ange. Maybe it's edge of the seat stuff, and sometimes you don't get the reward like we could have tonight. He asked, wouldn't you much rather get the reward? Yes, and so would Ange. Absolutely. I mean, I don't think that wanting to play sexy, good football in the way that he likes it is mutually exclusive. You know, and winning are 2 mutually exclusive things, which I think one of these panelists has said already. But he just wants to do both, and I think that's pretty obvious. And then Graham asked here, do you think Ange needs cards in his pressers with emojis on them so people will know the meaning of his comments? So they can have like a little cheeky smile on one, and you know. That was great. Peter loved it too. And then he's saying that we were talking about the football before. What it got us? He says Jose got us to a final and was sacked. AJ 5 days before. Conte got us.
Can I just quickly say something in regards to that? I'm fully aware that Jose got us to a final and got sacked, and I think I didn't want Jose as the manager, but I think sacking him before a final that he got us to I think that was poor. I think that was very poor, and I think that was unjust. However, that's being written like, oh, he got us to the final, we were going to win. Correct me if I'm wrong, but in every final, there are 2 teams that enter that final. One of them win and one of them lose. You're not guaranteed to win just because you get to a final. So
we were playing Man City, AJ, as well.
Yeah. Even if he'd have managed that final, there's no guarantee Like, that's why they were signed. That's why Mourinho and Conte were signed, because they were win now managers that win trophies everywhere. It was guaranteed. And they won nothing for whatever reason, whatever way you want to paint it, whatever way you want to. There's only so many ways you can polish a turd. It's still a turd, right? The fact of the matter is, Jose and Conte won nothing. But people still get hard-ons for them. People still talk about them like they did something, like they achieved something for this club. They didn't. They absolutely didn't. People talk about Conte like he was some hero because he spoke out. He had enough, yeah. But right up until that point, he was glad to go along with it and do as he was told and be the quote-unquote yes man. Because everyone says that, uses that. Newsflash for you. If you are employed and the person paying you your wage that you live on, that you afford your bills and your mortgage and your food, tells you X, Y, and Z, you do X, Y, and Z, because if you don't, you lose your job. But hey, that's okay, because you're a maverick. It doesn't matter if you're employed. It doesn't matter if you can keep a roof over your head, because you're a maverick. You've stood up to the authority. You've said no. You told them where to shove it. No, that's play. That's make-believe. That's not the real world. Yeah? Conte and Jose achieved nothing at this club. So let's not.
I didn't want them because they were egocentric managers. It's more about them than it was about my club.
They didn't even really want to come to the club.
And those two managers, they both had Kane and Son as well. I mean, you can argue the toss about whether this squad now, because it's been a couple of transfer windows, is better than the squad they may have had. But they still had Kane and Son, and they set up to the strength of that squad because it was the most painful. Even though we did well and we got top four, there were some of the worst games I hated. I mean, I hated watching some of that football. I absolutely hated it. Right?
It was disgusting.
So, I mean,
and embarrassing in a way. It kind of embarrassed me to watch.
He hasn't achieved anything yet, Hez, but I believe he will. So then when we're in unknown territory, we've got to wait. And bear in mind, he's only been in the job a season and a half, not even a season and a half yet, right? Only 12 games, or a season and a third. And he's actually dealt with the adversity very well. The injuries and everything else. He dealt with it very well, in my opinion. But people haven't got patience. I get that. We all want a trophy. I get that.
Yeah, for sure. I just wanted to highlight and say that Ange never ever said he wants to be entertaining rather than win. Those words were never said.
No, those words never came out of his mouth.
He said, "Why can't we be entertaining?" He meant be entertaining and win. When they said the thing about the couple 0-0 draws and winning 1-0, he said he would rather be exciting. He just means he wants to go out and beat teams 4-2, or it's just I feel like his words are getting put in his mouth. So if they're going to do that negatively, I'll put positive. I'll spin it in a positive way because everyone seems to be spinning what he's saying around. Guys, as we close up today's show, I need to let Ian get to sleep. He's getting sleepy. I can see he's got sleepy eyes. But I wanted to say you can catch both Ian and Adrian at their home channel, which is listed right there, Spurs Diehards TTID. When I can join, what my schedule allows, I love joining in with those guys. They've got a great thing going over there. So if you haven't already, make sure you go over and subscribe to Spurs Diehards. And yeah, I just wanted to thank you guys for being here tonight. I really appreciate you guys. All three of you lovely fellows. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much.
Well, of course, it's been real nice, and thank you to everybody in the chat. We've had so many people, and I don't think I missed saying hi to anyone. If I did, I'm a dick.
Did you give us your game prediction for tomorrow, Colin? 3-0
for me.
Confident.
Yeah, I'm confident as heck. Why not? All right. Pranvat's here though. Hello, Pranvat. I can't wait until the 19th when we smash you in the cup, buddy. He's a United supporter. The 19th is my birthday too, so if we lose, I'm gonna.
You're the 19th. I'm the 17th, Colin.
Hey, nice.
But I'll be 65, and you won't.
You don't know how old I am. No, I'll be 33. I'll be 33 if anyone.
I'll be in January.
You're younger than my kids.
They have to carbon date me now.
Yeah, you're younger than my children, Tom.
Crazy. That's crazy stuff. But yet we're friends. I love it. Real quick, I wanted to get Ronnie's comment in because it's got a lot to it. He says, sorry for saying this, but fuck Conte. Never wanted him, and he did not really want to be at Spurs. It was like he was doing us a favor. We all agree,
Yep.
I think.
Absolutely,
Paratici got him in,
100%.
didn't he? That was Paratici got him in, basically.
Yeah.
100% doing us a favour coming to our club.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It was the same. It was the same with Mourinho. It was almost like we had to be thankful that they graced us with their presence. Whereas Ange isn't like that. Ange looks like he's happy to be here and he wants to be here.
And
like
he
But
stabbed
hey.
Poch in the
It's a
back,
privilege.
Mourinho. He stabbed Poch in the back. Let's be clear about this. He said
Mm.
he had words with Levy, which came out that were like, "Oh, I can get a better tune out of this squad." And
absolutely.
Levy gave him the job, and he was given 7 players. All right, they weren't great players, but he was given players on top. We can't say they were great because we never did anything. Like we never won anything. But like, so I've like, you know, he's got a great track record. So has Conte and all that. You can't knock their records, but
Yeah.
I think they're looking like anachronisms now, aren't they? You know,
They weren't the right fit for Spurs. That's for sure. But guys,
I do blame Levy for though, because our motto is to dare is to do, udere is facere, right? And he picked these managers, and each time he picked them up, we got our Tottenham back and all that. Yeah, have we fucked Levy, right? You know, so like, no, we have, right? And he said it at the beginning of this season. Well, if you want our Tottenham back, which me and Ian have seen before, we got to start spending a bit more money. We didn't spend nowhere near enough in January. We only spent, I don't know, spend about 70 mil because we was getting all these players off the books and reducing the wages. So there's no excuse in January of not getting 2 or 3 in.
If they're available. Yeah.
If they're available.
Absolutely. But guys, again, thanks to everybody in the chat. Jamie was here for a second. Everybody keep Jamie in your thoughts as he is going through some real tough stuff in life right now. Jamie was in the chat for just a second. So everyone keep Jamie in your thoughts. He will be joining back on the channel probably next week sometime. But I don't know when the next show is, everybody. So make sure that you have hit the notification bell because I know you're all subscribed. I don't even need to tell you guys to do that.
Just ask Colin. We've got a show tomorrow at 8 o'clock.
Hell yeah.
Ian may be coming on late. I shall start it off.
I'll be on around 9, I reckon.
You can take over at 9 or whatever. I'll get back from the game and do all the questions and set it all up. But we're on tomorrow at 8 o'clock, guys. So
Spurs diehards TCID.
feel free to come and join us.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. And then any last words, AJ, before we run out of here?
No, mate. Nah, let's just make sure we smash these little Fulham slags tomorrow and hopefully put to bed anyone that's doubting this great, wonderful manager of ours.
Boom.
See you in the back room, AJ. I've got something to ask you.
Oh, cheeky.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm done, and I want to go and see Match of the Day as well, which is on in about 5 minutes. So
See, I timed it out perfect.
you timed it perfectly, Colin.
And I'll say, like I always say, everybody, be good to yourself, be good to others. Just have a good time. Be
Pleasure
happy.
being on with these guys as well, all of you.
Oh, absolutely. And Ange, we trust, right? Woo.
In Ange we trust.
And I'm going to play us out with everyone's favorite thing. I'll leave you guys up there, and I'll pull us all out, and I'll play the James Madison song for everybody to end the show. But again, thank you guys so much. I'll see you all in the back room, except maybe Ian, because he's got to go watch Match of the Day. All right, bye, guys.
My team has got James Madison. James Madison is what we need. Whoa, thank God we got James Madison. This kid plays ball like you would never believe.